Hello and happy birthday, those of you born today. It is, oops, goodness, MJ. It's October 8th. It's also Friday. Happy Friday. Let's get right to it and see what these crows have in store for you, those of you who share October 8th as a birthday. And of course, as I've said before, if you just so happen to stumble across this reading and it makes perfect sense to you and your situation, then, well, maybe you were meant to hear it. But I'm focusing right now my energy on those of you who are born today, or who are born on this day. I should say not today, because then you'd be just wee infants. Those of you born on this day, October 8th. Okay. So, month and day. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and October. 7, 8. Okay. So last year we had memory. And so I feel like this came up not too long ago. With memory means different things to different people. So you may have been focusing really hard last year on a grudge that you were holding in your memory and you were unable to let go, and your decisions that you made were based on that experience. So if, for example, if you ended up moving somewhere, you may have decided not to move to a particular location because of a past memory, or you may have decided to move to a particular location because of a fond memory. However memory looks for you, your actions last year were impacted by events from the past that you still hold in your head today. The decisions that you made may have been based on good memories, right? Like from childhood, perhaps, or bad memories, perhaps from childhood. However it looks, it's still impacting you today. So be aware of if there's like a grudge that you're still holding, or if you remember something differently than maybe how the events actually played out, right? Sometimes through the course of time, memories get jumbled, and what we think we heard or saw is very different than what we heard or saw, and we're still holding that memory. It's amazing, actually, how memory works in our brains. There've been studies done where they have convinced people that they've literally gone to Disneyland, even though they've never set foot, in California. Somehow, through manipulation, these scientists were able to convince these people that they had actually traveled and that they went on a roller coaster and they did all these fun things, even though they never did. And so be cautious of how your memory impacts your decisions, and this kind of falls a little bit into that illusion area as well. But right now there's an event that's holding space in your brain, or last year even, there was an event that was holding space in your brain, and for better or worse, it was impacting you in some capacity. So let's see what's coming up this year. Whoa, wow. Okay, so keeping up with that, perhaps that memory, you may be harnessing within you a great deal of anger. And so that event from last year, something must have surfaced with a memory from last year that really has impacted you tremendously. It may have been a memory from a family member who reminded you of an event from the past that maybe you've been able to suppress for so long, and then having that reoccur or having this situation come up just sort of open the floodgates, because we have this wrath energy that's building. And wrath is one of those interesting energies, because I always find anger is an energy, and you can use this, and it's a very powerful energy, I'm just going to say, and you can use it for bad, where you can create a horrific amount of hostility and revenge and just negative energy out there. You can just like flood your whole area, your whole surrounding with negative energy. Or you can harness this anger, you can harness it and use that very powerful energy and direct it to an area of good. And so, and a way I can, to explain this is if you were, say, a child of abuse and you had, gone through your adult life, kind of keeping that in the back of your head and really, like I said, suppressing all of those emotions, those feelings that come from being abused. And then something triggers it and that memory comes up and it all just floods up to the surface. And now you're processing all those emotions. And what you might want to do is go find that person and wreak havoc on their lives. Or you can turn that energy into something positive and direct it into maybe creating an art project, donating, creating a foundation, or working with other people who have been abused. There's such an amazing amount of work that can be done when we're angry for the good. Do you know what I mean? And so I put wrath in this deck because I know the power of anger and hostility, and I know the energy that comes from events that cause this feeling of wrath. The key is to not let that anger destruct you or destroy you or take away all of the good things that you've built up through your life. So if you had a memory that surfaced last year and it is causing you a great deal of angst and frustration, and it might not be, abuse is like on the far end. It could be at work, right? Where you are recalling the time that your boss said something snarky to you and then you realize that you'll never be promoted in that company. Now this year it's festering and the anger is brewing, right? Think about like a teapot, on the stove, and all of a sudden the whistle's going and you feel that like just frantic energy. Direct it towards working on your resume. Direct it towards finding a better job, not burning down the office. You know what I mean? So yes, this is going to be a year where you're going to be addressing some serious anger that's going to really, you're going to feel it coming up from your gut, from your belly, and you're just going to want to take action, right? This is an energy that drives action. Use it to your advantage. Don't use it for evil. You have powers for good and for evil. We all do. We all have those elements within us. Direct it towards good, and you will see an impactful change in your life. You will see it will be dramatic because, again, anger is a very powerful energy. And when you use it for good, I'm telling you, it's like a steam train. There's nothing that can stop you. But if you use it for bad, you will find that there is nothing that will save you from destruction. So use it for good, okay? Much love, peace, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.